Yeah, Adam, the historian ghost hunter.
Hey, everybody,
I
Tim
did.
Shaw here. Thank you guys for being here, hanging out. It's so great that you guys decided to stop by on a what? A Wednesday night. You guys, you're like Pavlov's dogs. I'm going to tell you that right now because Pavlov dogs are cool. But I want to tell you, we're so used to doing these things on on Tuesday nights. Everybody was texting me, where's the show? Well, guess what? One more over. We're on Wednesday nights now, and we're so glad that you guys are stopping in. And I got to tell you, I got a couple things up my sleeve that I'm thinking about working on after the first of the year. Let me toss this out to you guys. Let me toss it out to you. Now, you guys know that I do a lot of paranormal stuff, and you guys know, I'm out there, tramping the woods, and I'm out in the cemeteries, and I'm out, we're filming for different places, and I'm filming, and I'm working behind the camera and stuff, working on some stuff, and my photography. But a lot of people don't realize about how, I guess, enmeshed I am in the metaphysical world, and being a Reiki master teacher, spiritualist, healer, that's all that sort of stuff. I thought, what, maybe it might be time that we bring in more holistic people. So I got a call out, and I've already gotten like 4 or 5 responses for people who would like to come on the show to talk about their modalities. We're talking about healing. We're going to talk about brainwaves. We're going to talk about positivity. We're going to talk about a lot of great things, affirmations, things that are so important, because we're living in a time where if you go and you put, I don't know how to describe it, if you go and turn the TV on, you're bombarded by negativity. You turn the radio on, you're bombarded by negativity. You turn on social media. Dear Lord, we're bombarded. Dear Lord, we're bombarded by all this terrible negativity. And maybe it's time that we go and we start doing something a little bit more positive with our thinking, with this gray stuff up here. And I thought it would be nice if, and I'm not sure how I'm going to do this yet, if we're going to do a full month of it or if we're going to just do once a month, just to kind of spread it out and bring some more positivity into the world. And I think that's just a little drop in the bucket. But I mean, if everybody starts doing it and somebody starts picking it up, I think maybe we're going to be in a better place, all of us together. That's the important thing. If we can be in a better place. Now, guys, I've got a great show, so I'm not gonna prattle on like an old washerwoman for too long. I have 2 of my absolute favorite guests on tonight. I'm just gonna go, and I'm just gonna, without further ado, I met these guys at an event. They have one of the classiest, one of the best vodcasts there is out there in the world. And I'll tell you what, I'm gonna include mine in there because I think they blow me away. That's how good they are. I love their guests. They have a great chemistry together, and they are probably 2 of my best friends when it comes to vodcast, podcast, radio, broadcast, the whole thing like that. So let me introduce to you the one and only, the irrepressible, the man, the myth, the legend. He's just a handsome dude. Well, Dale Quigley. But also, ladies and gentlemen, entering the squared circle, the man with no background, the mystery man, weight unknown, height unknown, location where he comes from unknown. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Iron. Michael John.
Oh my God.
I had to.
Yeah.
I had to.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Come on,
oh
guys.
my fucking God. Oh, oh. It's a family show. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so sorry. That was amazing.
Oh, holy hell.
I'm sweating. I'm sweating. And I haven't even done anything yet. Oh my God. That was good.
I thought Michael John was going to run and go get his wrestling tapes on.
Woo.
I
That
have
was
been-
good.
You don't know how long I've been waiting to do that. I've
Thank
been
you.
dying to do that. You
Oh
know?
my God. So good.
Oh,
You're
that's-
you know, once a wrestler, always a wrestler. You're never gonna live that down. And you know what?
Oh.
We gotta just keep you active
Oh.
because why? I see you
Oh.
now at the gym. I see you going out
Yes.
there. You're
Yes.
showing up. You're working crazy, and Dale
Yes.
is eating all the pizza extra for you. That's the way it's working.
absolutely.
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 This is why you guys get along so well,
Oh,
guys.
This,
I love
this,
you.
this is my yin and yang, you know?
absolutely. That's weird.
I do always, I'm the complete opposite of whatever Michael John's doing. It's like, okay, I'll do the opposite. So thanks.
Oh my God. I got to tell you what, the Paranormal Voice is the top 10 vodcast that people have got to go and listen to because
Thank you. Wow.
you know what I love about it is you guys have a good take. It's a fresh take. It's not always the same old take that, you know, if you're like me and you start going and you watch all sorts of other vodcasts and podcasts and you start listening to the questions, you start hearing the same questions over and over again. And you guys always have a fresh take. And that's what I love about it. And you guys have a little bit of humor, but you guys are also very serious when you start talking about things. So the Paranormal Voice is probably, again, one of the top 10 vodcasts in the U.S. that in the U.S. and Canada, because you are, Windsor, Ontario's own Paranormal Voice. I turned off. Sorry, guys, I turned off the microphone already for that.
Oh,
That was fantastic. Oh my God.
oh, yeah.
Oh my God. I got my ab workout in. Thank you. Wow. I really did.
Oh,
Well, you know what, guys? I want to ask you because this is, you know, what's funny is we get a chance. You've interviewed me a couple times. I've never gotten a chance to interview you. Now the shoe is on the other foot, and I am going to, it's my job to poke you in the chest and keep you guys off balance a little bit. So, you know what? I'm going to go and I'm a sucker for backstories. You guys know that. I absolutely love backstories. They fascinate me. And I'm going to ask you guys, what was it that brought you guys into the paranormal realm? Because I know for me, you know, I was brought up in it. So it's kind of like, you know, I was able to go and like graduate from old school into tech. So, you know, that kind of really, you know, opened the door for me a little bit more than what I would have been if I had just stayed with the churches. So we're going to start with Mr. Quigly, and we're going to say, Mr. Quigly, what was it that brought you into the paranormal world?
I mean, I guess my story is more typical as everybody else's. I mean, I didn't have my first experience until I was around the age of 8 years old, is when I've had my very first experience. It was a family member that passed away. It was the night before their funeral, and I was sleeping because it was like, I don't know, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I can remember, but I heard something, so I woke up, and then there was this family member standing in my doorway, and
Wow,
it was kind of one of those: Am I awake? Is this really happening? And I asked him what he was doing. He goes, "I'm just here to say goodbye." And I was like, "Why? Where are you going?" He goes, "I don't know." And I said, "Are you ever coming back?" And he told me that he didn't know. And I was like, he goes, "I just have to go." And then he turned around and he started to walk down this little hallway of the apartment building I was living in with my mother. And I got out of bed. And by the time I got to my doorway, they were gone. And the whole part of it is when I stepped in a puddle of water that was in my doorway. Now, the significance of the water was that this relative drowned and that's how he passed.
Wow.
So
Amazing.
that was my introduction, and I mean, I didn't have anybody I could really turn to talk to because I came from a religious family. They never believed in that, and so I kept that story quiet until I was pretty well into my 30s before I even told Michael John this story. Michael John was the first person I ever told that story to. And every few months I was just having little things that were happening. And I always knew I was different from the other kids because I would see things or hear things that most people weren't really responding to. So that was my introduction to the paranormal, and I never looked back. And then here I am trying to find the answers of how that even happened, how they were able to leave me water to show me that they were truly there.
Yeah. Michael John, Iron Mike, same question.
Oof. I don't recall, Your Honor. Oh, wrong room. Sorry. Oof. Anyway, yeah, careful. No. So my mom, Carol Marchand, depending what she prefers. Her main name is Marchand. Anyway, when I was a little kid in single digit age, I remember we'll start that. So mom's relevant to the story. Sorry, bear with me. I'll take off on a plane and I got to get back and land to what I'm talking about. So it'll have to come out at once, right?
Get your fishing line out.
Yeah. So I was about, I don't know, I was in single digit age, 4 or 5 years, 3, 4 in there, I guess. I was laying on my couch. I think I was maybe sick. And I remember I'd open my eyes, and in this little house we were in, up the hall, I saw a bright white light. And I shut my eyes because it scared me. Then I had told my mom I saw a ghost. Or I thought I saw a ghost, and she had told me, no, you're probably dreaming or whatever, and that was it. And mom, and this is important, mom wasn't necessarily the one to fluff things off, because mom, many countless times after the fact, now I'm going into older years, but whatever, but still young, but would have psychics over. She'd have Ouija board parties, that sort of stuff. Me and my sister
already. I like her already.
and me and my sister were told to go play in the streets for a few hours. That's what we did back then, right? Pardon me. But there was always that intrigue because I would hear her, because mom, we didn't have internet back then. We were high class, man. We had like a 10-foot phone cord for the phone. So mom could do her, mom could cook dinner and talk on the phone at the same time and tell 1,000 people the same story every 5 minutes. That's where I get it from, I guess, the storytelling. But yeah, and I'd hear her tell the stories about the Ouija board or what the psychic said. And that left an imprint on me. So moving forward into my mid-30s, I had a chance to be part of a paranormal investigation group here in Windsor. And we did some historical stuff. We made 6 documentaries, just independent film documentaries. Nice. Helen and Andrew Patterson were the creators of these documentaries, amazing stuff. We even did Waverly Hills Asylum. So now it imploded, the group imploded. That's the short version. I still had the bug, but I didn't want to necessarily go look for ghosties anymore. I wanted to push my envelope as far as I could and go past that. So what I mean by that, and Tim, I've touched on this with you on occasion, how I started getting into magic, the voodoo, the hoodoo, that sort of stuff. But I am so reckless and haphazard and reckless, right? For example, and I'm a former drug addict of 30 plus years. So I want that quick fix. And even in the paranormal, I want that quick fix.
Right.
We're all addicted to results, right?
Exactly.
So I'd find something online. Okay, so one of my books that I dabbled in, it was called The Ars Goetia, The Lesser Key of Solomon. It's a list of 72 demons. I don't like that word. I prefer the word deity, being, what have you. And then it's all sigil magic. You pick each individual demon does something for you. And there's sigil magic involved. For those who don't know what a sigil is, that's a nice circle. You put the deity's name in between 2 circles. And then inside the main focus of the circle is a nice symbol that represents that deity. And you got to draw it. The more your intention is everything, of course. So anyways, I started getting all that. and I got good results. I did some scrying. And there's a few people who've seen my photos of the results I've got from scrying, where I have this deity by the name of Bune. She came to me as a goddess from that book I just mentioned. She came, her eye came perfectly. It was materializing inside of the scrying smoke. So that's where I'm at with all that. I'm hooked on it. The results, and I'm still doing that. I mean, I have, like, not unlike yourself, you had mentioned when we spoke with you last. I mean, I have shadow figures here in this apartment. I've been here 15 years. I've done a lot of stuff in this apartment. Do I see them every day? God, no, not even close. It's been dormant for a while. There's the odd disembodied voice. I've heard my name. I've heard a woman talking. I can't make out what she's saying. And I've told, Tim knows most of these stories anyway, what's going on here. And Tim's the best. When you talk to Tim, everybody, by the way, no matter how scary it is or how horrible it is, Tim just goes, yeah. I'm not getting excited, right, Michael? You and I both know what's going on, right? So yeah.
It's
Anyways,
typical,
go on.
Michael, it's typical. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, right. And I was just like, fuck. Oh my God, we told Frank that. I thought Frank was going to spit his drink out when I told him, yeah, it's Tim. Because he's like, that is Tim. Oh my God. But so then Dale and I, how this became to be, a friend of mine that I'd met through doing the Spectral Solutions stuff. I'd always stayed in contact with her, and she started doing a YouTube channel thing with a friend of hers. And they invited me to come do an interview. And the first guy that I had asked to come, he couldn't make it. So I said, Dale, you want to come and talk about your paranormal experiences on this show with me? And he said, okay. Then we got chatting with these ladies, and then short version, the paranormal voice was born. And here we are.
That's awesome. And by the way, Frank wants me to have you guys ask me how I teach. Frank wanted to know about scrying. Comes to my house. He says, "Can you teach me to scry?" I said, "Sure." He goes, "Well, what do I do?" I said, "Hold on." So I go into my filing cabinet. I pull out like 3 or 4 sheets of paper from one of my classes, throw it at him. He goes, "What's that?" I said, "That's my classes." He goes, "That's it? I just read this?" I said, "Yeah, what do you want to do? You want to read it, or do you want me to read it for you and pay me $50? You got a choice."
Okay, good. Something.
That's why I love that guy so much. He's great. Frank's in comments said there was 2 pages. Okay, okay, 2 pages, $25 a page. Frank. What a
$50 a page.
What a deal! What a deal! Hey. While we're on the subject now, I want to, I want to ask you guys, because you guys, like, what I love? You're both spiritual. You both have these really great experiences. And, it's sort of not like a lot of the paranormal investigators that I actually know, because a lot of them are either one side or the other. They're heavy spiritually or they're heavy tech, You guys are like me, right in the middle. So, what do you think? What do you think spirits are? What do you think ghosts are? I mean, I've got my opinions. Everybody's got different opinions. What do you guys think they are?
Well, for me, ghosts is a very I don't even think of them as ghosts. I think of them as energy, because I mean, we are energy. When we die, it's our energy that leaves our body. Not, I mean, there's something there, but I think it's just I mostly just tend up to being our energy. So to say it's a ghost, I mean, I think that's just a word that people are comfortable with saying, but right. I don't know. Because when I think of ghosts, I keep thinking back to Scooby-Doo cartoons where guys run around in a sheet trying to spook everybody. Right. Where, I'm sorry, I mean, 15 plus years doing this, yeah, I've never seen a sheet float across my room, because if I did, I probably wouldn't be here. I'd probably have a heart attack by then.
But it's true. You know what? It's like too many. See, I think what the biggest problem is that a lot of the religions and spiritualists, big time, they've personalized the energy, where we're right. looking at it as a concentrated ball of energy that still holds on to memory, personality, ego, that sort of thing, that will eventually dissipate and become part of everything. That's the way that we look at it. But so many religions have taught guides. You have angels, you have guides, you have this and that. And the problem is people in their minds, they're thinking that these are just like us. They look like us. They look like mirror images of us, except they're wearing, they're wearing robes and no pants. That's primarily what they're getting. So that, that kind of really, it's tough for me to swallow. In your estimation, both you guys, boys, the pros from Dover, let me tell you, there they are, the two of them. You know what? When I think of all the experiences I have, and it's almost always 100% energy. Can you say the same with because you've been all over the place? Do you think that it's just energy? Do you think that it's a little bit of energy and then maybe the location like loads into it or feeds into it or amps into it? Or do you think like there's like, these puffballs of energy of personalities that are out there, like attracts like, gets pulled in, or the people that are around, it kind of feeds off of? What do you guys think? What do you think powers these things?
Man, as you're telling me these questions, you see the question mark above my head? I'm like clueless to these ones. I'm just like, duh. Can I make up an answer?
You could. That's fine.
And by the way,
I'll take Scooby-Doo for 100, please, Alex.
And by the way, we are not wearing pants during this interview as well, as a side note. Okay. Just shirts, folks. Anyways, so the question is, sorry, can you repeat the question? No.
Yeah.
So where the energy, how do they sorry. Yeah. Go ahead, Tim. What was it again? Just short version.
Basically, short version is what powers it. Do you think that it's like ley lines, natural, like psychokinetic energy that's natural in the location? Do you think it's people who may walk into the location? Do you think it's their energy that might slap it open? Do you think that it's like these buildings that are built out of all this granite? And do you think it's stray? Do you think it's stray static electricity? Do you think it's moonbeams? What do you think it is?
Well, I think we just leave an imprint, and that's what that is. We could call it.
I agree.
Someone call it residual. The good old looping tape, of course.
Yep.
But no, I think, even here again, I can reference this place a lot. We put one of my dogs down here when I was married, and she left imprints here. I've heard her bark one time. I've heard her shake her ears in the ears, pat, 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 shaking like she's getting water off her. I have her in a smoke scrying photo as well. Rosie was her name. But yeah, they leave an imprint. Your energy stays where you are. What gets them up? Again, let's go backwards to what we talked about earlier, what I mentioned, the word intention. You want it to happen. You want to go see Bigfoot in the forest. You want a dogman to appear. You put it out there and you say, you put it out there, you put out the intention and let it be known. Like, we set our equipment up. We're raring to go. Like, we're at Western Block with Frank, right? What are we doing? We're practically getting up doing jumping jacks and firing up and singing Kumbaya, my Lord, to get our energy up. It's intention, right? Exactly. I got to reference that because it's all about it, right? So I hope landing the plane on my point. Yes, I think it's our intention and an energy. Whatever the energy was, it's imprinted. If you call that energy, if you call them, they will come. That's my answer.
I think you're wrong. See, I think 100%. Now, because let me ask you this. Do you think it's possible that these certain locations may be alive somehow? And as you're heading towards the location, let's say, you guys, me, Frank, and the rest of the zoo crew are heading towards a specific location, and we're talking about it.
Yes.
And we're talking about things that we know about that happened at this location. We get there, and all of a sudden, this stuff happens to us. Do you think that this is these locations? Now, I'm not talking about personal, like energetic personalities. I'm talking about locations themselves. Do you think locations themselves may have some sort of personality that can tap into this?
I believe so too, because that's a lot of the experience that I had when I went to the Hinsdale house.
Yep.
And 2018, I believe it was 2017, 2018. on my way to, I mean, we talked about it at the hotel we were at the day before, and then going up to the thing, we were all in our own vehicles. But I mean, I already had like voices in my head telling me not to go there to begin with.
Yep.
But you know, to me, like big, strong, paranormal guy, I'm not afraid of nothing. And I kept traveling through, and I mean, it was one of the most intense places I ever do, and I do believe that uh, the energy we put into thinking about a location also adds to the energy level that is created in the home because we're already talking about it. We're putting that energy there, and it's it's crazy. Even when I left the Hinsdale house that night, I mean, I still had that same energy telling me, yeah, I better F and run
Yep.
because I did bring home an attachment from there, and it was like I said, but I think we ourselves just putting that kind of energy into anything because you can. It does.
Sorry, I just read Joe Parodity's comment.
It's the barbecue food in Hinsdale.
Son of a bitch.
Hey, that's a great listen. That's one of those that's a fantastic place to eat when you're going to the Hinsdale house. But you know what? I have to tell you because I'm a firm believer that these whatever it is that is attached to these houses are in these some of these locations. I don't think they're just like random personalities. I think that they are almost innate. I think that they're almost eternal. That they've never been born, never die. They've it's just energy, but it's some kind of an intelligence. So I mean that kind of equates whether like if you believe in God or Great Spirit or other like I won't say angels because I don't really believe in angels, but let's say some angelic type of entities or high low energies. I believe that these are places that attract it. It's almost like they're like a black hole and it's sucking all of these crazy personalities into this area and it's into that atmosphere, and also turning around and trying to go and give you what you expect before you go there. And I remember telling Nick Groff when we were talking about filming up there for what was the show? I'm trying to remember one of my. Wait a minute. I'll drop a dime, Frank. For paranormal lockdown that I was on very first show. Hinsdale House. But I always remember saying to him about that being a sucker house. And you know what? He said the same thing. He goes, it gets into your skin, and it gets into your psyche. And it's like when you try to leave the house, you can leave the house, but it takes you take something with you, whether you
Right.
call it an attachment or a heavy duty interest or something, because it's like for years I had it where I wanted to go back up there. And I mean, I haven't been up there since COVID. So, I think maybe that it's gone for me, but also like Joe and I, we've been going up there since 2011. We first went
Jeez.
up. So, before our friend Dan Kless bought it, and who's done a great job up there rebuilding that house. But, these are really some great, some great ideas and theories that we need to go and we need to examine as paranormal investigators, because sometimes what I'm seeing now, and I'm going to ask you this question, what I'm seeing now is that we are recycling the same theories where there's nothing new being thought of. We've become human mimics, only going and repeating what has been pablum fed to us over network TV.
Right.
And this is something that really, when you start pushing the envelope in certain aspects, you need to think about that. So here's my question to you guys. Ready? Are you guys ready? I know you're not wearing pants, so you better have a towel down for this one.
Do not stand up.
Do not stand up. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200 for that one. But what do you think would help our field more? What do you think would kind of push us past this doldrum of a stumbling block that the field has become?
Whew, that's
For me, first off, the only show I ever watched was back when I was with that group doing the documentaries. I was a fan of Ghost Adventures. I didn't watch Ghost Hunters. Um, and then when the show, I watched like I think first 4 or 5 seasons of Ghost Adventures, but I don't watch. I don't even. My TV is sitting back here. It's got a bed sheet over it. I don't even have a TV hooked up. I don't watch these shows. I'm not influenced by them, so I don't really even know what they're doing. I just kind of do things as I see them. So I don't know what the big theories are, what the big ABC 1, 2, 3s are. With all due respect, I would just go in. For me, it's always been about trying to go in and feel what you can, use your senses. And of course, a good old voice recorder, usually on your phone. Joe Parodities had one that was worth literally $1 million. It was amazing when we were on Western Block. But that's a completely other show in itself. For me, I guess stick with basics. Again, I don't know what they're doing on the show, but I would stick with basics. Again, I love a Ouija board. That's my favorite tool to use. I mean, a good old ghost box, even. Let's cheat and use that. Put them all together. Let's get a ghost box, a Ouija board, and some Latin chants, and do that all day long. That's what I want to do. But I mean, provoking, I don't know. Let's go there too. Do you provoke? It depends. It's a fine line. I mean, how far do you go with that? Of course, you want to be respectful, but to what degree? On and on. For me, I mean, this is again, I'm the king of reckless and just do whatever, whenever. I'm ignorant to what's going on in those shows because I don't watch them. So sorry if I can't. That's my answer to that. I don't know how else to answer that for you, Tim. Dale, go.
And go. Well, with me, I mean, I every location I've been to over the years, I try to know as little as possible beforehand. I mean, I do watch the shows, but I don't think any of that's an influence on me. I just watch it for pure entertainment value because, like, I know what those guys have to go through to get a TV show produced. Like, they're at these locations for a while. But, I mean, I always try to think outside the box. Like, not running in and I try to talk to them like they're still alive. So, because I think we get far more interesting responses and you learn a lot more if you kind of talk to them like in real time instead of saying, "Do you know you're dead? When did you die? How did you die?" Because
Exactly.
it's
Exactly.
it's it it's it just doesn't make sense because as I've heard over time and time again, and through just my own experiences, that some of them might not even know they're even dead because they died so quickly that they're still roaming around doing what they normally do. And, it's like, what effect to them if you tell them they're dead and they don't know that? It's
Well,
like walking up to a human saying, "Oh, you're going to die."
well, I've done that, but that's it was disco. Okay, it was
That was
disco.
just,
It was disco. Okay, that's all I gotta say. I blame everything on disco. But but now let me even push this a little bit further. What happens if they're not the spirits in our world, but we're the spirits in their world?
I think we've
I've
had this
had I've had
conversation.
some yeah, I've had some responses where it's like, who are you? Or like, what? Like frightened. And at first I used to think, well, maybe they were frightened because they realized that we can ascertain or see them or whatever. But what happens if somehow we have some interdimensional flap portal, whatever, and we are their ghosts? And if you
Well,
think about it, that would be a great way to go into a new investigation, a new style. What do you guys think?
I love that theory. That's so. Andrea Perrin tells a great story about her mother inside the Conjuring house. Her mother setting the dinner table, and she had told all us kids, as Andrea says, to go stay busy somewhere. She has her back to the dinner table, and
Uh-oh, we lost our guest, but we'll get him back in a couple seconds. But that was one of the things that I've always wondered about. What happens if? What happens if we are not? We are not the. We are not just in one dimension. What happens if we're working with interdimensional? What happens if we go and we start trying to figure out what we went wrong, what we're doing, where are we, where are they? So yeah, I think what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be setting up a new set of rules and regulations and see how we can go and just develop new questions that are way outside the box, that are way outside of anything that we've ever really worked with in the past. And we're going to try to get these guys back, hopefully. But anyway, before we do, while we're thinking about it, a lot of people have wanted to hear that EVP that we got from the Lancaster Opera House again. And I decided that I think it's a good idea. And again, this EVP is something that it's a playful EVP. We all started counting, and we think we stopped at 6, and we think it says 7. But now this EVP has been cut, and this EVP has been amped. Okay, so this is not raw. This is an edited piece. So let's everybody listen in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're here to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What do you guys think? What do you guys think that is? What do you think that was? Do you think now again? We go into these investigations and we're like, well, we ask these questions. Who's here? Are you here? Anybody here? Instead, perhaps, as the boys we were all talking about, we should have been going and asking not those questions, but just fun questions. I think paranormal investigators are taking so much, how can I describe it? They're just taking everything so seriously. How's that? So seriously. What do you guys think about that? Do you think we should lighten up a little bit? And wait a minute, let's welcome back. You know what? This is what happens when the energy goes. Wait a minute, I was hearing it. I was hearing the energy. And all of a sudden, we started talking about it. And look what happened yesterday with that the dead bell that I was working with, and I was doing the live, and I got it to work, and then all of a sudden, like I'm sitting here and the thing went off by itself like that. So the energy is affecting something around the world here. So we don't really know what it is. But welcome back, guys.
Yeah, no, wow. Were we about to say something that the universe didn't want us to tell? I mean, is that the secret? I mean, they keep cutting us off, you know.
I don't know. That's kind of strange because we were getting into some heavy territory. But okay, now listen, guys. Now you guys were just at the old mill in Dundee, Michigan, which I absolutely loved. I was there last year. Love that place. I love everybody there. I think it's one of the top. First of all, as a museum, I love the way it is. It's great. It's got a great vibe to it. The volunteers there, they go out of their way for you. It's just a wonderful place to be invited to. And hopefully maybe next year either I'll get invited to it or I might take a little ride and end up there by accident, because I've been known to get lost on the New York State Thruway once I get out of Western New York. Tell us what happened, because you started talking about it off the air, and I really would like to know what's going on with that.
So we're going to back up to the night before.
Okay.
First off, I feel real quick here again. Here we go. Michael's going to zig and zag with a story. That's where you and I met, was at the old mill, by the way, right. Tim. That's
right.
Yeah, that was a great day for many reasons. Yes. So the night before, we had an interview with a gentleman by the name of Phil Siracusa, who owns a house called the Black Fly Chronicles Home. And this gentleman was born. When he was born, a demon came through a portal and attached itself to him. And this gentleman is 56 years old. And it's still going on. So he was sharing a lot of his, I'm not going to ruin it for anybody. You'll have to look him up online and read his books or whatnot. But short version, black horsefly would come around. One solo black horsefly. And then shadow beings, whispering, scratches, burnings of hoof marks.
Wow.
Like a hoof mark.
Wow.
Right? Wow. So during the interview, and if you've watched enough of our interviews, at many times I'm very open to go, hey, you got activity at your home? Cool. Hey, I'll tell you what, anybody listening right now, the spiritual kind, etc., the Sasquatch kind, the alien kind, I give you permission to come join me in my apartment. Give me a sign you're here. I open the door all the time. I have 2 mirrors across from each other because it's supposed to open a portal. I do that, Tim. Anyway, so now with this guy, I didn't do that. I did not do that. I asked him, though, very humbly, people that interview you on shows like ours, or people that encounter you, do they ever have experiences related to what you're going through? And you know what he says? Unfortunately, yes.
Makes sense.
I hope it doesn't happen to you guys. Hope nothing happens to you guys, but chances are good. And all I said was, okay. What are you going to say?
Makes sense to me.
So now, here we go to the old mill. Dale and I, we're setting up the table. Not unbelievable. I'm like, I'm doing this, Tim. You know what I'm doing, right? Damn! Jesus Christ, there's a fly! Yeah. He goes, oh my God, what? I go, don't give it any energy. Don't pay attention to it. That's what I tell him. Don't pay attention to it. Forget about it. Pretend we don't know. We don't notice it. So, anybody that I tell about the old mill, anybody, if I ever mention we're going there or it comes up in conversation, I tell them, in the middle of the day, you could go use the bathroom and get tapped on the shoulder while you're peeing.
Oh, it's
That's
true.
Literally
it's
what
true.
That's literally what I tell people, Tim. I've never had an experience. Okay.
I'll tell you what. I just walking through there now. Last year, I go and I do my thing. I gotta go to the bathroom. Right, I'm heading to the bathroom. And that little tiny one that's off, that little tiny one that was off. Right where your table is.
Yeah.
I'm in there. And I got the door locked, and the door popped open by itself. I was like, okay, okay, like this. It happens. It happens.
Yeah.
You just get used to it. But
yes,
yeah, it's so funny because I was just in Gettysburg when you guys were up here, and up in here in Western New York, and I was telling Jolene Riley, who is one of the owners of the Gettysburg Paranormal Association, their tour company. And whenever I go down there to speak, she always puts me up at the Tilly Pearson house, and so it's a great place. And I was telling her, I said, the one night I'm in there, locked the door, and me being me, I put all my luggage against the door. Because in old houses, these doors have they're out of plumb. They pop.
Yeah.
I woke up in the morning, my luggage is pushed away, and the door is open. I went,
wow.
Well, okay. Yeah. I mean, you came to visit. What can I say?
They really want to get in and see you. That's all.
Well, I did a talk on haunted objects, so I had a rather large suitcase.
You're in good company.
So I'm sure there was like a party going on in my room while I was sleeping.
No,
but, how that is. Hey, before I forget, I don't want to go, and I don't want to get because I'll forget. You know how guys, you're 2 guys, I'm a guy, man brain. All the women out there will know what we mean by man brain, before we go any further, we have someone who's very, very talented, very, very special. Someone who I will go and say, I'm so proud that he did this. He sat down, put Crayola to pencil to paper, and he wrote a book. Michael John, tell us about your book. There we are.
That's it right there. Thank you so much for even. It means the world to get to hear you say that. More than I can express for sure. Well, it's called Michael John's Paranormal Ghost Stories. It was 10 years in the making of procrastination, yes, drug addiction and depression and bad marriage and 8 million excuses. To finally, so many things happened in the last year with the paranormal. What we're doing, the paranormal. What do we even call this? That we're in the paranormal world. I mean, I don't know how to explain what we're in. I mean, with you, Tim, and everybody. I mean,
the paranormal universe.
The paranormal universe. There, I like that. That's a T-shirt next week, folks. For sure. It's been a very long time dream of mine. I finally got to the finish line with the help of a few people and encouragement of Dale next to me and a couple other people. Really, really, I made my mind up and I said, damn it, I'm doing this, and I did. There's years and years of experiences from shadow figures in there, my scrying stories, astral travel experiences. I just found out in the last year and a half that I'm an experiencer with aliens. Oh my God. And that's ongoing. I mean, everything's ongoing, really. It's never stopped. But this is the book of the first. I'm already started the second one. Working on, actually, it's like a mixture of 2 and 3 I'm working on. Some of these chapters in this book will become a full book. That's the plan. I don't know. I took off and I lost my point. I'm sorry. Again, I say, I wanted to tell you back to the old mill. Sorry. So I go into the bathroom and I use the bathroom and I'm washing my hands, Tim, and I hear, hey, okay. And I'm not even alluding it to being anything ghosty, right?
Right. That's
I'm like, someone's out there waiting to go. To tell this short, fat, bald, insecure guy to get out. Let's go. So I open the door and there's nobody there, and I'm still not. I look across the room. There's Dale with Deb DeRoos, and Deb goes, "There you are. How'd you get over there? What are you talking about?" I quote. She goes, "I just saw your doppelganger go down the hall there." So now I'm walking towards them. I go, "How long ago was that?" She goes, "A few seconds ago." Then I'm like, eureka. Oh my God. I just heard someone whisper, "Hey," to me in the bathroom. They went, "Hey," at the same time. Oh my God. Now, here's where it gets weird. I'm telling you about synchronicities, and we're beyond numbers. And I've been experiencing this for the last few months in various forms. A couple hours later, I get a message, and I'll send it to you later, Tim. I got a screenshot for you. A friend of mine sends me a message on Facebook. "I'm out having lunch with my wife right now. Your doppelganger is here." Right? Crazy. So now, back to the old mill. It's still going. We're at our bingo table where we were with you. The bathroom's right there, right? Just by chance.
Right.
For aesthetics of the story. Anyway, Dale's standing up, talking to somebody, and then I see Heather Hansen, Midwest Parafest. Mm-hmm. She's coming around, so I got to give her a hug, of course. So I get up and I go around the table. The table collapses. But wait, there's more. A woman across the room. Yeah, I know, this is nuts. A woman across the room, she says, or her husband goes, "You look really red. Are you okay?" And she's like, "I feel really hot." And at the same time, there's a cat ball. I don't even know what that is. Someone said a cat ball. The box tipped over. This cat ball rolls out and falls on the floor. Smacks on the floor. This all happens all the same time the table collapses. The woman's red. The cat ball snaps, falls. So now, we pick the table back up, brush it off. dry it off. Coffee spilt on the computer. The computer made it. Okay. So now I have some of my books there, and so I had like 7 books. So I have that ADD kicks, and I got 3 here, 3 there. Then I put book number 7 as the top book for display purposes. And I looked away for a couple seconds. I looked back down on the book, the top book. What's on the book? The goddamn fly. End of story.
Typical.
The old mill is haunted, folks. I don't care what anybody says. But I think Phil Siracusa and whatever's going on there, that trickled over as well.
That's so typical. So typical. But that place, I got to tell you, man, I was impressed. I've been there twice, and each time has been unreal. It's just been unreal. First time they had a ghost hunt, and we had a lot of stuff upstairs, and we were using I think we were using a geo box, and it just kept calling my name, and it called Dan Kless's name, and just kept calling it. And that's always kind of unnerving when you first hear that. But the last time I was there, that happened. I was just like, well, what are you gonna do? At first, I thought it was you guys trying to get in, and I was just like, well, I'm old. It takes me a while. Give me a break here. But there was nobody there. You guys were at your table. Nobody was there. Everybody was listening to whoever was speaking. So yeah, it's a great place. So guys, if you ever get a chance to do it, important question. You want time to get serious. Time to get down. Get serious. Right? You ready? You guys ready?
Let me get my ears straight. Here you go.
Get that face. Get
yes, sir.
Face. You guys know that I'm out there in cemeteries, and I'm out there forever photographing tombstones and gravestones, and I read everything. I read any kind of epitaph that's on tombstones. Okay, I know what I'm going to have on mine, but each one of you, what do you want to be etched on your tombstone?
Well, mine's going to say, well, that didn't go as planned.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
No, I mean, really, you know what? If it just says, did everything with 100% of his heart, that would probably be put on my tombstone, because that's what I do. I live life with 100% of my heart, and I do everything is because I love lots of people. Even the people I hate, I still love them in some weird kind of way. But I mean, that did everything with his heart.
That's the right answer. Michael John.
Good God. Wow.
That's a hard question.
Will say styling, profiling.
He did his best. He did his best. I don't know. Oh my God. I don't know.
It's because Michael John's not going to die. He's going to live forever.
Michael John, it's going to say, in this corner, the man with the belt, interconnecting, intercontinental Canadian All-Star.
God, that's the biggest belt ever.
John. That's going to be on your tombstone. I'm going to tell you that.
The world's biggest belt.
Absolutely.
Sorry, real quick.
Those are always hard. That's a hard question.
That's a good question.
I've asked a lot of people that. And it's funny, but most people can't come up with an answer what they want on there, what they want to be remembered by. And I think both of you guys have got it. I think both of you guys really have that right mentality. I think that's really important. Wait a minute. What is Anne LaFave? Michael Johns will say, I've stolen and I got up. That's a good one.
Yes.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true.
Yeah.
I like
and
that
a good
one.
friend of mine. She's a good friend of mine. We joke all the time. We have cats and critters in common, and we've bonded. I've had a chance to see her a couple times at some of the Paracons, Parafests, and I nothing but love her. She's a sweetheart of a lady.
I love her so much. I love her so much, guys. We're already running out of time. I can't believe it. But how can people get a hold of you? How can people watch the fantastic Windsor, Ontario's own Paranormal Voice, how can they go and how can they enjoy the true essence of the dynamic duo, the pros from Dover, the men, the myths, the legends, the effervescent, iridescent boys? How can they get a hold of you? And who do you got some upcoming guests? And do you have any like upcoming events? Or now is the time to pull the plug out and plug freely.
Well, I'll start off because I see one of my favorite ladies just popped on, MJ Dixon. MJ, we love you. I miss you. For us,
Love her.
I mean, you can always find our show on our YouTube channel, The Paranormal Voice, and on our Facebook page, The Paranormal Voice. 2024, we're going to upgrade it a little bit, and we're going to be on anywhere where you find podcasts, Spotify, Apple.
Oh yeah,
all those streaming scenes. That's our goal for 2024 is to get into more people's ears for us to talk to. But that's the best two places. If people want to reach out to us, it is theparanormalvoice@gmail.com. If you want to get in touch with us, you can always find where we're going to be. We have no more events this year, unfortunately. The Old Mill was our last event of the year, but that is not stopping us because I'll talk about my upcoming interview. I'm still beside myself. I will be on A World Awakening with Andrea Perron this Friday at 10 p.m. I'm just like beside myself. I thought I was beside myself being on the Black Cat Lounge, and now it's World Awakening, World Traveler. I will be, but yeah, no. And then next year, our first event next year will be Potographs up at Ann Arbor with Tim Malley and a bunch of amazing guests there. April, we will be at the Midwest Parafest in Toledo, Ohio. Chad and Heather's event, another amazing. The Oliver House, absolutely amazing location. But yeah, just stay tuned to our Facebook page. Join up to our Facebook page, and you'll find out where we're going to be, when we're going to be, and we love meeting everybody because that's what. Oh, we're also too be at May. We'll be at Sage Paracon. Once again, with the lovely MJ Dixon.
Exie's in Oxford.
I'll be up there with doing that. And, Exie and Candace's event.
Oxford, Michigan.
Oxford, Michigan.
Body, Mind, and Spirit. I hope we said that right. I never get it right.
And, of course, the MI Paracon, the WrestleMania of Paracons. We will be back there in August again.
And then, oh, wait. Sorry, are you done?
No, go ahead.
So, what are we doing? Okay, so then tomorrow night, I'm going to be on Mystical Awakenings with Deb and RJ DeRoos, co-hosts of the UFO Contact Convention. We will be there this year. That's September. Sorry, my memory's terrible. Dale's my Google about everything, so he helps me out.
Which one?
The UFO Contact Convention.
That's September 22nd, 23rd.
With Deb and RJ DeRoos and Mike Smith running that. So tomorrow night, Mystical Awakenings, Deb and RJ DeRoos, also co-hosts of The Voices of Contact. I am the voiceover for that show. For those of you that don't know, when you watch the show at the beginning, that's me saying all the narration. Anyways, I just a little harmless plug there. Right, Tim? No.
There's nothing better than self-promotion.
We're learning from the master. Drop. Keep dropping.
We got a couple things coming up. As well in October. We can't really touch on yet. We're still kind of discussing it, but we'll launch it and share about it when we officially can. I'm gonna one more time for my book here. Again, Tim, thank you so much for even bringing it up here on your show. It means a lot. Michael John's Paranormal Ghost Stories available on Amazon, all Amazon outlets. That's .com, .ca, .uk, .au, ... It's got a dot. You can get it. Also here in Windsor, Biblia Oasis Bookshop has it on their shelves in Windsor, Ontario on Wyandotte Street East. What else? I think we're landing the plane on all that. That's where we're at with that for sure. right here, right now. But Tim, I want to say thank you so much.
Thank you,
An
guys.
honor and a privilege to be on here with you. Oh my God. I mean, hashtag blessed, thankful, grateful. How lucky are we to get to be on with you? This is like a dream come true. And the dream just keeps growing more and more. Literally got to pinch ourselves.
Aim
So
higher.
thank you.
Aim higher than here, guys.
No,
Aim
listen,
higher
no,
than here.
all seriousness,
Yeah.
you've been a mentor to us, a friend, as well as Frank. You guys have been nothing but, you know what I mean, motivating us, inspiring us, and that means a lot. And thank you so much, okay? We are Tim Shaw, guys. It says it right there. We are Tim Shaw, guys, 100%. You know what I mean? We aspire to be you. So thank you for putting us under your learning tree from time to time and being a friend.
Well, you guys are great. And just hang on there for a couple minutes. I want to say goodnight to everybody. And
All
I
right.
want to thank you guys properly off the air. And I just want to let you know that I am so thrilled when I asked you guys to come on, because we did, you know, when I had finished with my hiatus and I wanted to get back on the air. You guys were one of the first guys I wanted, because of the fact that we've known each other for so long, and I appreciate you guys, and I have a lot of respect for you guys. So just hang on just a couple seconds. And may I say that you're both beautiful. You're both beautiful. I got to tell you that you both.
Stop.
You guys definitely have like the perfect domes. I'm just going to tell you that right now. Perfect domes for all that thinking that we all do. Okay, we'll be right back on after that one. Oh my God, guys, just let me tell you guys, I appreciate you guys more than you know. Try. All you got to do is just try to get out there and do one kind thing a day. Just one. Not that hard. Just one. Because the world needs it. And that one kind thing, that little drop in that great universal pool of water, will send out rings, and perhaps others will do it, and perhaps it'll affect the world. Guys, thanks a lot. You've been listening to Tim Shaw. My guest, the wonderful Dale Quigly, and the most handsome Michael John of the Paranormal Voice. They've been on. They were great guests. And I want to thank you guys. I'll see you guys next Wednesday. And where else? Where are we going to see each other? Where the drinks are watered down, the pizza's cheap, and, well, we meet next to the dumpsters where the elite meet. Take care, guys. Ciao. Be good. Be kind. See you guys soon. Bye-bye.